afternoon, everybody. Today we will discuss the nucleophilic addition reaction. You know that the nucleophile is electron-rich species, and we are adding the nucleophile to a multiple bonded organic compound, and multiply bonded organic compound is also electron-rich in character. So before starting the nucleophilic addition reaction, we have to activate our multiple bonded compound by the presence of electron withdrawing groups. So the nucleophilic addition is the reverse of electrophilic addition reaction. Here also there are two steps. In first step, the nucleophile attack the multiple bonded organic compound. Here it is an alkene. So we will get an carbanion as the product. So in the second step, the carbon anion is added to an electrophile and we will get an alkane as the product. Now we are moving into the example cyanoethylation, in which the multiple bonded organic compound is attached to the substituent as cyanide. You know that the cyanide is electron withdrawing in character. So our multiple bonded organic compound is electron deficient in nature. So we can easily add any of the nucleophile like phenol, alcohols, amines or sulfides. So first of all, we have to pick out one of the hydrogen in these reagents like phenol, alcohol, or NH2, H2S, etc. So we will get a nucleophile, and this nucleophile is added in a alkene and to form the cyanoethylated compound. So the speciality of this reaction is that we can easily convert the terminally located cyanide group into any of the function group, like we can reduce the cyanide which is present in the terminal position of the resulting compound into alcohol or like that. By we can easily reduce the cyanide compound, or it can also carry out the hydrolysis reaction also. Then next example, hydrocyano addition, in which the hydrogen cyanide HCN is added into the multiple bond. So for that, our alkene must have an electron withdrawing groups, or it contain a polyhaloalkanes, and these starting material undergo the base catalyzed addition with HCN and to give a nitrile as the final product. Now we are moving into the another addition reaction which is initiated by the free radical. That's why this reaction is known as free radical addition. You know that the free radicals are electron deficient species, and naturally for a free radical addition reaction we are using organic peroxides or azo compound like AIBN as the radical initiator. So in the free radical addition reaction we have three steps. First step is the initiation step, second step is the chain propagation step, and the third step is the termination step. And in the first initiation step, the radical is generated, and this radical is propagated in the chain propagation reaction. Finally, the radical combine together and the reaction is terminated. And here we follow the anti-Markovnikov rule. Anti-Markovnikov rule means we are adding the free radical, say for example hydrogen radical, to a least hindered side. Okay, naturally we are adding a H plus hydrogen radical to most hindered side. Okay, see here in the example I have shown in the bottom of the slide, CH2 double bond CH2 CH3, that is an alkene in which we are adding HBr. So hydrogen radical is added to the most substituted carbon atom, that is CH2CH3, you can see in the final product. And finally, the bromine is added to the least hindered side. Okay, so this is the anti-Markovnikov rule. And this effect was first discovered by the famous chemist Karash. So that's why this free radical addition is known as peroxide's effect or Karash effect. So this is the example in which we are using peroxides as an radical initiator, and if you are adding HBr into a multiple bonded compound, we will get the bromoalkane as the product. Here we have to remember that always use the anti-Markovnikov rule. So that's why hydrogen is added to the most hindered side and followed by the bromine is in the least hindered side. Now we are moving into the mechanism. First of all, the first step is the initiation step, in which a peroxide ROOR dash is activated by a heat, and we will get RO free radical, and this RO free radical combine with HBr and to form a Br radical. And this Br radical is transferred to the propagation step, and this Br radical react with starting material alkene and to form another radical, and this another radical is again react with HBr, and the bromine radical is regenerated here. This is the propagation step. And finally, this reaction is carried on. Finally, in the termination step, there are 3 different ways of terminating the free radical which is produced in the propagation step. First of all, this bromine radical combine together and to form a bromide molecule, or Br radical combine with an alkene and to form the bromine substituted hydrocarbon, and which is neutral and do not undergo further reaction. Or in the third termination step, 2 radicals which is present in the alkane combine together, and that means this reaction is the dimerization, because the identical radicals are combining together, and we will get the final product like this. Now we are moving into the stereochemistry of the free radical addition. At room temperature, if you are adding the HBr and to an alkene, that is a stereoselective reaction. We have already discussed what you mean by a stereoselective reaction. Stereoselective reaction means if you are doing any experiment in both the isomer, say in the case of alkene, the reaction is doing on both cis and trans variety. If we get the 2 product for each of the isomer, we call it as stereoselective reaction. For example, in this case, an cis trans alkene is added to a bromine radical. So we will get a radical again, and in which the radical is located in an empty p orbital, and we are converting the multiple bonded compound into a sigma bonded compound, and there is a possibility for the sigma bond rotation. So that's why we will get trans and both the trans and the cis product. In this trans product we will get 80% of the trans product, and in the cis product we will get 20%. Since each of the isomer will produce the 2 products, that's why it is known as stereoselective reaction. And here the speciality of this reaction is in the formation of the radical. That radical undergo the CC sigma bond rotation. That's why we will get 2 product here. Then if we are doing the same experiment at low temperature, that reaction is a stereospecific reaction, because here in the stereospecific reaction means we will get only 1 product if you are doing the same experiment in trans and cis form. See in this example, first of all we will take a cis isomer. If you are adding the bromide radical, we will get a brominated radical here, a cyclic brominated radical, and if you are adding the hydrogen radical, we will get two products, but both of them are meso in character. Okay, and both the product are same, so we will get only one product. And if you are doing the same experiment on the trans variety, see the top of the slide, we can see that a trans compound is also added to a bromine radical and to form an brominated cyclic radical. And if you are adding the hydrogen radical in the cyclic compound, we will get two products, but both of them are same. So that means a one single product is formed, that is a meso compound. That's why if we are doing the same experiment at low temperature, we will get only single product. So that's why this type of the reaction is known as stereo specific reaction. Whereas if you are doing the same reaction at room temperature, we will get two product. So that's why this type of the reaction is known as stereo selective reaction. Now we are moving into the final reaction, that is addition to a cyclohexane. See, in this example, this is a cyclohexane, and which also contain the multiple bonded, and in the multiple bonded carbon, one of the carbon is attached to a chlorine, that is an electron withdrawing nature. So our multiple bond is electron deficient. If you are adding HBr, since this reaction is a free radical reaction, so that's why the bromine is added first, and the addition is in the anti-addition will occur. So that's why the bromine are added in, I have shown the addition of the bromine in the yellow color arrow indicate the addition of the bromine radical. So that position is the attack of the bromine radical, and after the attack of the bromine radical, we will get a free radical, we will get a radical in a cyclic ring. And in order to stabilize that radical, the electron pair in the bromine is coordinated, or it form a partial bond, just like in your neighboring group participation. Then after that, hydrogen radical is attacking the same cyclohexane in the opposite direction of the cyclic bromine radical. So we will get, this is the final product. So this reaction is a trans diaxial addition reaction, and here we are adding HBr as the reagent. And one of the speciality of the reaction is that here there is a bromine intermediate bridge compound is formed, and that is finally converted into the product. I hope that you understood the concept. Thank you.